Hello, everyone. What's up? I'm back for week 17 of NFL DraftKings football. Sorry about last week. I was busy. I was caught up. Obviously, the holidays, it was Christmas, and I didn't get an opportunity to get to my laptop and make a video for you guys. I apologize for that, but I'm back for week 17 in this crazy, wacky, wild and crazy week 17. There's going to be just tons and tons of news. So, whatever I say today is obviously what I know so far. Things will change Sunday morning. So, if you guys just follow Twitter and go, use NFL, this is the best news you can get up to date. Every minute, minute by minute, they either have some new news that's breaking, and it's all already in chronological order whatever comes out that they find. See, Jets place Matt Forte on IR. I'll talk about that in a second. Vontez Burfict is not going to play Sunday. It's very, very useful. Um, that's what's going to save you tomorrow morning if you're putting money into DraftKings. And obviously, you don't want to waste your money. You need the best information available, so you would use that. There's tons of teams that are playing for playoff spots. That's what you want to focus on. And briefly, I'll just tell you those teams. Atlanta's playing for a spot. Obviously, they need to win the game against Carolina, as well as Carolina is playing for a spot. They're more secure than Atlanta. It's just that seeding is the key for the Carolina Panthers. Um, Another team, the New England Patriots. They're basically fighting for the first and second spot between them and the Steelers. If the Patriots beat the Jets, then they're fine. But if they lose and the Steelers win, which they probably would against the 0-15 Cleveland Browns, then the Steelers will get the spot. So um, that's not really. It's really your fighting over bye is really in home field advantage, which would be better for the Steelers. But they lost last week. They had their opportunity. Philly's pretty secure in their spot. They have really nothing to play for against Dallas. I already mentioned the Pittsburgh Steelers. I already mentioned Carolina versus Atlanta. Baltimore is playing for a spot. So they're in a must-win situation. If you want to focus on those players, you can. That would be Joe Flacco, who's been very consistent lately. The last past 3 weeks, I've been using them in my season-long fantasy leagues. He won me a championship. Thank you, Joe Flacco. As you see, 18, 17, 21, 17. He's a great start at 5,700. I would pair Joe Flacco with Mike Wallace, who's a very consistent wide receiver. He's currently listed as questionable, but he was a full participant Thursday, Friday, so he's gonna play. Don't even worry about that. So that stack would be those two, and then Alex Collins, who's playing for some incentives. If he gets to 1,000 yards rushing, he's gonna get some extra money in his incentives against the Bengals. So obviously they need to win first of all, but they're probably gonna say if it's a blowout, they're gonna give Alex Collins some much needed touches to get his bonus. All right, which would be nice. Let's go to the next game. Buffalo, Miami. Buffalo is in a must-win situation. Tyrod is a decent choice. He's cheap. I mean, I wouldn't put all my chips on him because he doesn't have that much of a ceiling. Um, he's so limited with the passing. He would really need to give you a lot of points rushing wise to bring you back value. That's why I'm more leaning towards McCoy. And then if Tyrod Taylor was to throw to someone, it would be to Charles Clay in the great matchup against the worst pass defense against opposing tight ends. And this is his former team. Charles Clay used to play for the Miami Dolphins. So it's a little revenge narrative right there. All right. I like those three. I like that little stack. Let's continue. Tampa Bay has nothing to pay for. New Orleans does. So Drew Brees obviously is in a good spot at 6,500 against a very porous Tampa Bay defense. This could go a little bit back and forth. So if they wanted to keep it up, so let's continue on this New Orleans. I like Drew Brees, obviously. Alvin Kamara, he destroyed Tampa Bay in the first meeting against them. He had, if we go down, he had 32.2. So he's in a great matchup. And then Michael Thomas is has been cleared, and he gets a great matchup as well. Last time he faced Tampa Bay, he had 14.5, but he had 11 targets. He just didn't get in the end zone. He's also an option. You can do the double stack for this team with Mark Ingram, which is a little bit expensive, but you can afford it this week. There's a lot of value around. All right, if I wanted to run this back, let's see. Mike Evans is an option. Adam Humphries is another solid option just to avoid coverage from Marshawn Lattimore. And then Cameron Brate should be 100% back. It depends. You just have to watch. He was a full practice participant Friday, so he's gonna play. When you see that they're full practice on Friday, that's like the last possible practice. If they practice that day, then they're most likely gonna be cleared to play. And he's cheap, 3,300. Cameron Brate to bring back in that stack. Another team, very very important. The Tennessee Titans. Everyone's gonna be on Derrick Henry because DeMarco Murray on IR as well. Obviously, when he gets the touches, this man is a beast. He's just waiting. He's just been waiting behind DeMarco Murray for quite a while for the past 2 seasons. But when he gets the opportunity, this guy is a huge bruising back with speed. Derrick Henry is going to be chalk this week, but he's going to be good chalk. You just need to get him in the end zone because on DK you need receptions, and he gets a few targets here and there, but not really what like an Alvin Kamara or Deion Lewis or James White's get. So he would really have to like destroy the Jacksonville defense, who's going to be sitting their starters, offensive and defense. So I like him as well. Rashard Matthews is in a great position. He's been the number one wide receiver for the Tennessee Titans all season long. He had a letdown week last week, but he has tons of 20s this year. He had a 21 against San Francisco, 25 against Pittsburgh, a 17 against Baltimore, a 20 against Seattle. So he has that potential to go off. I like those two. And obviously, if you can't go into without having a little Mariota. All right. I like them three. Everyone's going to be on this KC Denver game over here. Everyone wants to play Patrick Mahomes. They have a man crush on him. I get it. The kid is talented, but he's going to be facing Denver in Denver, and I'm trying to avoid this. I really do. But he's a very, very talented quarterback. I like him a lot. Hopefully next year they get a chance to start him instead of Alex Smith. But if you would want to go with this stack, the guy I would choose to pair him with, since Tyreek Hill is going to be out and Travis Kelce's going to be out, is going to be Demarcus Robinson, who's kind of emerged midway in the season. He was getting a lot of looks. Like in week 7, he had 11.9. He is the guy that Mahomes was probably throwing to him the most in practice and in preseason, so on and so forth. I like him. And then another option who's cheap is Demetrius Harris at 2,500, who Mahomes was throwing to in practice and in the preseason. He actually threw this man a couple touchdowns in the preseason. So I like these this trio. If you're willing to trust Mahomes versus Denver at Denver. Let's go right down the line. Oakland and Chargers. Chargers are playing for a playoff spot as well. Rivers, obviously, number one option in this stack. Antonio Gates is playing his last game of his career, most likely. He's going to probably give him a touchdown just to send him off. He had one of his throwback games last week against my Jets. He had 6 for 81 and a touchdown for 20.1. He's probably going to repeat that performance, I think so, in his final game. Kind of like a Kobe final game. I think Rivers feeds Antonio Gates to send him off correctly. Um, they still have Keenan Allen, who is a good option. But I really think that it's more Rivers and Gates. It's like a special moment for them. Plus, Oakland's weakness is against tight ends as well. So that would be that trio. Uh, oh, my favorite QB stack is going to be the Jimmy Garoppolo to Marquise Goodwin stack. The future is bright for San Francisco. They found their franchise quarterback. I wish the Jets would have made a trade like this. Jimmy Garoppolo is a beast. He destroyed the number one defense, Jacksonville Jaguars, last week. They put up 44 points against that number one defense. Garoppolo has really soaked in and um, really fell into a great groove with this offense, and they're only going to get better. They're still young. The defense is really percolating, and I think this is a total onslaught with Garoppolo, Goodwin, Kittle at tight end. This team is very, very talented. Hyde is another option at running back. And then even Matt Breida had a touchdown last week as well, if you wanted to go a full stack. And don't forget, this team's defense might be a lock for me this week, just because price alone, and the fact that the Rams are going to be benching all their starters. So there's no Jared Goff, there's no Todd Gurley, there's no Cooper Kupp. Sammy Watkins probably going to play a few snaps. Robert Woods probably going to play a few snaps, but the majority of the game they're going to be out. And the 49ers defense is going to destroy Malcolm Brown, who's everyone's on. This defense, the San Francisco 49ers defense, has been, especially run side, has been stout. And I would like a full onslaught of the 49ers against these Rams if Steve Mannion is going to be starting at quarterback for the Rams. So I like the 49ers a lot right here. Focus more on Goodwin and Garoppolo and Kittle as well at 2,800. He's gonna produce. Okay. If we go down the line, Arizona versus Seattle, that's another must-win um, for Russell Wilson, who's kind of been letting people down the past 2 weeks. He gets his third final shot to get his team a chance into the playoffs because he's sucked the last 2 weeks. They just can't run the ball. You can't just be one-sided and expect to win all these games. It's not going to happen. So in this scenario, I like Russell Wilson and Doug Baldwin, obviously. Jimmy Graham has fell off the past few weeks. If we check his game log, you can see 1 target, 3 target, 2 target. He really hasn't done much in a while. But they might get back to the drawing board with him in a must-win situation. If I wanted to bring this back, here's another play for this team. I like Paul Richardson as well at 4,400. To bring this back for Arizona is just simply you play Larry Fitzgerald and call it a day, because this is most likely his last game as well, playing for the Arizona Cardinals. Larry Fitzgerald saying his farewells. He had a great last game in Arizona, where he had 30.74 against the Giants. He totally killed him. And Stanton likes to throw to Larry Fitzgerald. So he's going to get a ton of targets. And the Seattle's Seahawks secondary is very weak with no Sherman, and they're starting rookies like Shaquille Griffin and and Brian Maxwell. So there's not really much to stop Larry Fitzgerald in his short routes that he runs that are pretty much like they're like running plays. He gets like a catch for 3 yards, and obviously that's fine. You can move the chain. All right. So Larry Fitzgerald is a good play. Those are my main plays this week. Here's one I just wanted to bring up because I saw on Twitter about the Matt Forte news being on an IR. So that since Matt Forte is going to be in an IR, that leaves Bilal Powell in a great situation. As you can see last week, with Matt Forte playing, he emerged still with 19 carries, 145 yards, and a touchdown for 23.5 DK points. Bilal Powell is the best running back on the Jets, and he should get his touches since there will be no Matt Forte. Okay. I'll give you one more play. T.Y. Hilton is also in a good matchup. There's going to be no DeAndre Hopkins, and the last time T.Y. Hilton faced Houston, he had his huge game for like 30 points. And then also like Minnesota at home. The defense is also a good choice, but I kind of like Adam Thielen to bounce back from his woes the last past 2 weeks. As you can see, he had 4 and 6 the last past 2 weeks, but I think he'll have another connection with his quarterback this week and bounce back. All right, so that's another play. And a deep sleep running back, I like Wayne Gallman at 4,200. Just if you were just watching the game log and you just looked at the receiving, this is what you need for DK. The last past 3 weeks, he had 9, 7, and 8 targets, and he caught pretty much almost all of those. Just getting a lot of value in the passing game, and he just needed the rushing yards against Washington. I expect the Giants to fully utilize Wayne Gallman. Orleans Darkwa has been kind of phased out of this offense, and they're focusing on Wayne Gallman, who was their rookie running back, and there's something to build on towards next year for this New York Giants team that needs to bounce back. I like Wayne Gallman this week at 4,200 as a cheap play. Um, Dang, I keep thinking of another one. I got another one, Alfred Blue. So, guys, I'm giving you a lot of plays. You just need to narrow down which ones in your player pool are going to be more beneficial to you, or which one catches your eye the most. This one caught my eye just watching last week on Christmas. Um, Alfred Blue was kind of like taking over the backfield for the Houston Texans. Last week he had 16 carries, and he like ran through these Pittsburgh Steelers, which is a solid defense that Pittsburgh has. Certainly better than years previous. And Alfred Blue averaged almost 7 yards a carry versus the Steelers. And then last week he had 12 carries for 55 yards, which was good as well. I kind of like Alfred Blue in a game where Houston, there's no DeAndre Hopkins. They're gonna need to run the ball, which they have been doing anyway. They gave Alfred Blue double-digit carries the last past 2 weeks, and I think he can get to the end zone this week against the 27th ranked rush defense, Alfred Blue. All right, so those are my plays for week 17. Just guys, please focus on tomorrow's news that's gonna break in the morning. Just follow on Twitter, Fantasy Labs NFL. Um, Also, if I hear any news, I'll post myself on anything that I feel like is important, and maybe a pivot play to whoever's in or out. Okay. Make sure you follow me on Twitter at MetsNetsJets908 right there. And I hope you guys have a blessed week. And make sure you subscribe to my channel, MetsNetsJetsD. Give it a like, show some love, and I see you guys next week. I'll probably do a playoff video, and then soon to come will be NBA videos. All right. So everyone, good luck and peace out.